it's coming on in 5 minutes, you have to be in.
But the next time that you see each other might be Euro 2022.
So I'm a big fan.
I only remember one fact.
Okay, we'll take one.
Your actions on and off the field are important.
Hello everyone and welcome to Play Anywhere with Visa. It's been nearly 4 years since Visa announced this historic partnership with UEFA, supporting the football for the women's game across all levels and also becoming the first ever standalone sponsor for all of UEFA's competitions, including the Women's Champions League and the competition we are all gearing up for this summer, the Women's Euros 2022. And well, I've got 3 women alongside me who I am really looking forward to seeing in action this summer. We've got Nikita, Vicky and Laura. Really nice to have you with us and I'm really excited to hear about all of your journeys. I would love to ask all of you what you would describe as your breakthrough moment in football. Laura, shall I start with you?
Yeah.
Was there a time that you really stands out in your mind as the breakthrough moment?
I would say the last season with Hoffenheim. We had the opportunity to play in the group stage of the Champions League. Last year I also had my first games for the national team over 90 minutes. So I think for me it was a good way to develop. And yeah, I'm even more happy that I had the chance to join Arsenal after this half season. And I would say for me this was my most successful time in my career.
Yeah, Vicky, what about you?
I mean, for me now it's easy to pick, and the Champions League that I always dreamed to win. It was after, I don't even know, 16 years playing in the senior division and winning with Barca. I grew in that club. And the person I am today and the player I am is thanks to them. And that was perfect for me. It's a dream that came true. And I always will have that with me.
Yeah, I can see you nodding along because you can probably understand what these big moments feel like. What was your breakthrough moment?
I think for me, in the context of development and going from a raw talent to an elite talent, was definitely my move from Everton to Manchester City, because when I was at Manchester City I learned not just how to get the best out of myself but how to get the best out of the teammates around me, and understanding if I didn't do my specific job that it would have a knock-on effect on somebody else. And that's exactly where I learned the game management, the game understanding, to really further my career and my understanding of how to improve as a player, myself, but also my teammates.
Yeah, and you really noticed that when you made the switch then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Now, you mentioned Everton. You made your first senior debut there at the age of 16, very young indeed. But during your time there, you scored against Liverpool, didn't you?
I did.
And you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
I am.
How was that? How did that feel?
I think for me it was always very separate. I supported Liverpool men, but I played for Everton women. And for me, that separation was key, because clearly I was a Liverpool supporter. So when any time we would go to the games and I was in the home end at Everton, I would be slightly inside cheering Liverpool on, but trying my best not to show that. But yeah, I did. And for me, I always grew up a Liverpool fan, and Everton was the first club that came in for me. Liverpool did later come in, but I felt my loyalties did lie to Everton because of Mo Marley. She was a massive inspiration to me throughout my whole career and still to this day.
You've talked about international football. Laura, tell me the feeling of getting your first call up to the squad.
I think you can't describe it in words, because it's a moment where you always dream about. And yeah, when you're a little child, it is a long way to go there, and I never thought that it would be possible that I would have the opportunity to play for a national team. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed every moment, and I really like to play with these girls, and I really enjoy every game with them.
Was it the same for you too, in terms of when you got your first call-ups for the international teams?
For me, it was amazing, and the fact that I had the opportunity to play 2 World Cups and 2 Euros, I can't really describe it. It's just the vibe, the opportunity that football gives you, sharing the moments and representing your country. I feel so lucky.
And like you say, you've had a lot of experience on the international stage. Does it feel that special each time?
It does. And every time is different, something better coming, and I'm sure England is the perfect place to host the next one coming up.
Yeah, home crowd, Nikita.
Yeah, a home crowd, home atmosphere. No, I think England will do a great job in hosting the Euros, you know, put the bid in, and with the staff that's worked really hard to ensure that we get the best grounds available, and making sure that there's the right atmosphere, the right support for each and every country, so that they feel comfortable and ready to perform in the Euros. And you know, it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. We see what the men's was like, and the women's is definitely going to emulate that and more.
Well, the thing is, in 2017, you got an assist, didn't you? That was your first international appearance in England's 7-0 victory against Serbia, and then your first international goal was just 3 days later in the reverse fixture. Came off the bench to score. How did that feel, making such an impact in the game from the bench?
That is the one feeling in football that I'll never forget. Like that moment of coming on for your debut, but also scoring, and just seeing the appreciation from the fans that were there, the players around you, but also the staff. Like they'd worked so hard to ensure that I was in the best possible shape to be able to perform. And you know, it did take 3-4 camps that I did go, and I was on training, and I didn't quite get on the pitch, but they always told me to keep driving forward, and then when that moment comes, it's hard to describe.
Do you think England can step it up a bit more this time around?
Yeah, I think over the last few years we've really shown as a team how much development we've grown, and you know, in any major tournament you really want to perform to your best, but ultimately every other team has the ambition to want to win the tournament, and you've just got to have the right, you know, team on the pitch, camaraderie, and ultimately performance matters.
Are you looking forward to the tournament being in England? I mean, you've got experience now of playing in England, you know what the fans are like.
Yes. Yeah, I really look forward to, and I think England is the best place to host the next Women's Euro. Yeah, and I think we are really looking forward to it and can't wait to start it.
You've received some special messages today from individuals who have been really inspirational to all of you. Nikita, I know that your admiration of Julie Fleeting partly inspired your move to Arsenal, didn't it? And tell us what it was about her that made you look up to her as a player.
Goal scoring. No matter how many minutes had gone in a game, it could take her 10 minutes to score, it could take her 70, but she always scored and was very successful in front of goal throughout her whole career at Arsenal. And when I was younger, there was always one game on the TV, on the BBC, and it was the FA Cup final. And every year Arsenal got to the FA Cup final, and I remember my mum would shout me in from outside when I was playing on the street and be like, "It's coming on in 5 minutes, you have to be in." And I'd just be running home just to watch the FA Cup Women's final. And Julie Fleeting scores hat-tricks and headers, and yeah, she was just amazing, and yeah, I really enjoyed watching her as a player.
And in that message, she asked about setbacks in your career. Was there ever a time as a youngster that you wanted to give up?
No, I feel like as a youngster I was very fortunate in the teams that I went to with the support I had around me. My career just went from strength to strength. I think the most difficult part of my career was when I moved to France and I was abroad and I was in Lyon. I didn't understand the language. It was a very difficult culture to get used to, and yeah, I felt like there was a real struggle for me to really imprint who I was as a player, but also as a person, because I couldn't really speak or communicate. So it took me a very long time to really settle in there. Probably took me like 6 to 8 months to really be who I was. But after that, the girls were amazing throughout the whole process, and you know, I really enjoyed my stay in Lyon.
And Vicky, you've heard from two-time UEFA European Championship winner Andreas Iniesta. Why was he a player? I mean, I don't even really need to ask, but why was he a player that you idolised?
I mean, I used to watch Barca all the time, and I remember the first player that comes to my head is Pep Guardiola. I was very young, so then I started looking at Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta. And for me, it's the way he plays. Of course, he played for Barca also, so I'm a big fan. I think so. So it's just amazing how he was able to read the football, how important was for Barca, for Spain. And I also loved that, I don't think he's never changed after being such a, famous person or such an important player. And for me, it's also so important when I look at a player, how they are in and off the pitch. So I think he's a guy that is a role model for all the kids, and I really like that from him.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you look at that behaviour on and off the pitch. And he was keen to find out when you started playing football. Were you always encouraged to play?
And I remember the boys' team were always so nice, supporting me, so I felt so comfortable. But I remember going to play against another boys' teams, and they always were saying things like, oh, they have a girl, kind of a weird perspective, like, oh, she can't play football.
Yeah, until they saw you in action.
Yeah, but I remember, I don't know, I think now it's different. When I was younger, it never bothered me at all because I was happy playing football. I always had my focus on it. The boys really helped me, and my family support me, and my friends support me, so that was very helpful for me.
Yeah. So Laura, your Austria teammate Sarah Zadrazil wanted to send you a personal message. She said some nice things about you in there. How much has she mentored and supported your international career?
She was from day one, she was also a role model, and I think she's a big personality, also on and off the field. I think you can count on her in every situation in life and also on the field. I've never seen a player who is really 100% in every situation in the game like her, and yeah, really enjoy her way.
She also mentioned your hairstyles in the Austrian camp. Can you tell us a bit about that and what she meant by that?
To be fair, there is not so much to tell. I mean, I do not do my hair when I wake up, so I just go to breakfast how I slept. So it looks funny, so my hair is everywhere.
We also discovered from this video that you came up with 3 facts about England. Nikita, we need to keep our ears peeled for this. What were the facts? We'd love to know.
I only remember one fact.
Okay, we'll take one. What was it?
It was like that the Queen is telling to her, I don't know how to say it, to her butlers?
Yeah, okay.
In terms of her handbag. So when she picks her handbag up, she wants to leave the situation, or where she doesn't feel comfortable in the situation. So always when she tries to put her handbag from the floor, she wants to leave it.
That's her code message. I'd not heard that, but I might actually start using that as well as a trick. Vicky, I wanted to ask you about when you were called up to Spain's the 2015 World Cup squad. You scored the nation's first ever World Cup goal. Now, this was against Costa Rica in the opening match, something that will forever be in the history books. Is that something that is in your mind when you're playing or afterwards, that is such a huge part of history that you're part of?
Still doesn't feel real to me, if I'm being honest, because in football you never stop. So I think when I retire and I relax a little bit and I think about it, it was our first World Cup for Spain. It made a massive impact in the growth of women's football, and my name is going to be there in history, and I feel so proud, and at the same time I feel so lucky.
There'll be a time when you'll be sending a personal message for somebody else's interview. Now, you've all got experience of playing for your country, scoring goals, but growing up, is that something that you ever thought was possible, Nikita?
No, when I was younger, I just had the ambition to be the best player I possibly could be. And when I first moved to Everton, there was no professional women's setup. They were semi-professional, paying for kit, paying to play. So by the time I'd got to the age of 16, I was quite lucky in the formation of women's football and how much it had grown in England that the WSL was formed. And yeah, when I was 16, I signed my first professional contract to play in the WSL with Everton, and that's when I really did dream, and I knew there was a pathway to succeed.
And with your experience, Vicky, you will have seen so much change in terms of the attitudes and the investment from when you started to where you are now. Just, if you can describe how different it is.
The difference is massive. When I started, the conditions weren't there, and even as she said, the formation wasn't there, so it was very hard to dream about being a professional footballer. I had to leave my country, I had to leave Barca and go away from my family and go to America. And I think it's there when I realized, right, what I'm gonna do with my life. So I left everything just to be the best player I could. I left my comfort zone, and then I went back to Barca when they were professional, which was just 5 years ago, and now it seems huge because it has changed massively. But the bad conditions were there a few years ago, so I think it's about keep fighting for it. I think there's a lot of things that still need to change, and I think we are in the right way, definitely.
Nikita, I want to come on to you. I was talking about records earlier, and if that comes into your mind, well, from 2018 to 2020, you had the record as the all-time leading scorer in the WSL. What an achievement that is!
Yeah, it is an amazing achievement, and for me at that time, it was really signalled how fast I'd grown throughout my time at Manchester City. I would honestly say, it was a pinnacle time of my career, learning from Nick Cushion and understanding football, and throughout the 5.5 years I was there, I really grown as a player. So that really signalled for me, that development, and to be, so young at that time and being named a WSL all-time scorer was amazing. And now I'm back, so hopefully I score many more goals there.
Oh, undoubtedly you will be. Like you say though, at such a young age to have that on you, did it feel like pressure at any point that, now, the only way is up from here? Or do you feel like it's just something that is just an extremely proud achievement for you?
Yeah, I think for me it's just an extremely proud achievement, because you never really think about what milestones you end up getting to while you're still playing. Like Vicky said, you just concentrate game to game, training session to training session, and then at the end of your career, when you finally do relax and you can really think back on how your career's gone, that's when you'll really notice your achievements.
One thing I did want to ask you all about was penalty shootouts, because as a viewer, we love to watch them. They're tense, but they are very exciting. I just want to know how you all feel about taking penalties, and what it's like, that walk up. Laura, do you want to start?
I do not really shoot penalties. I mean, I would take the responsibility to take them, but I'm not the best penalty shooter, so yeah.
What's it like in practice, in training, when you do it? Are you just like, this is not for me, this is not my forte?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing it. I'm not the best finisher, and
don't say that. You are.
Maybe I am. I will be in some. I will do the
just not against England.
Yeah.
And Vicky, how about you? You must have had some...
I mean, in Spain, there's a lot of talented players, so it's always hard to get a place there. But with the experience, I've also learned how to manage mentally the moments, and you just have to go with confidence. And of course, you can also get better training.
But what about there's some crazy run-ups these days, isn't there? The hop, skip and the jump, I don't know about this, like stopping right before my heart does stop then, how do you stay mentally in it, when you're about to take them?
I think for me, it was always just choose your spot. As soon as you put the ball down, choose the spot that you're going to go to. I never really focused too much on the keeper. It's all about being in my mental zone. But for those people who step up and can do the hop, skip and jump, fair play to you, because that's not me. I'm not that technical on a penalty. That is just not my game. I'm no Jorginho.
No, exactly. No. I mean, it works for him, doesn't it? So look, we talked a lot about success and what it's like, you know, scoring goals, being on the winning side, making records. But what about defeats? What is it like bouncing back from a defeat, Vicky?
That's a good question. I mean, when I was younger, I wasn't able to take it because you just don't know how to manage. But now looking back, for me, it's something that really teaches you, and you're the one that has to have the right attitude and know how to take the situation to make the team better and also yourself.
So you think, is it just experience then? You know, when you're younger, you
find
it harder to take?
And especially in football, you can do everything, and everything you can control, of course. And you don't even know if you're going to win, which is what makes this sport really interesting. So you need to take always the positives and keep the ambition and keep working.
Yeah. Do you agree with that as well? Is that?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you have a setback, in the moment you maybe do not realize how should this be good for me. But I think when you look back after a few years, these are the things you've grown as a player and as a person. And I have to say, I'm really thankful for some of my setbacks I had, because these are the situations where you learn from, and you also learn how to deal with these situations when it will come back again. And so I think, these are after some time you can really be thankful for these situations. Yeah,
that's a really good point. It's teaching you something, isn't it? And you mentioned there just trying to move on from it. When you're in the moment, you know, how do you stop it replaying? Say you've made a mistake or something hasn't gone your way. How do you just block that out for the time being and focus on what's happening now?
Yeah, I think everyone has a way to go through this or to find a way out in these situations. And I think as a professional athlete, it's important to have a way to find out, because everyone makes mistakes, and I think it's a human thing. But it's even more important to handle with these situations. And these are also situations where you can learn from.
Yeah, and how about you, Nikita? I mean, you know, England's men more than women know how to bounce back from a defeat. How do you, what are your mechanisms for doing it?
There's always going to be setbacks in sport. Sport is not a place where you're always going to do the right thing in the right moment. And as Laura said, there's always going to be mistakes, and you always got to have that what's your reset button. For me, is like the next action, the next pass, keeping things back to basics, keeping the next pass simple, the next shot simple, in order to just get yourself refocused or get the team refocused. You know, as within football, you've got 10 other players on the pitch that can help you as the individual if you've made a mistake, to be able to go again. And some of your greatest lessons learned in life are definitely from mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. I really agree with that. We mentioned the huge rise in women's football. In terms of those playing the game, watching it on TV, going to the stadiums as well, Visa has got this global commitment to empower women in all aspects of life. How proud do you all feel playing such a huge role in that, in empowering young girls and women, Laura?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I'm really lucky to be able to play football in this period where women's football is in the moment. And I think it's a big opportunity for all the women's football clubs, which is now in the summer. And I think everybody is really happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and Vicky, you've talked about your journey. Mm-hmm. You know, you must be a huge role model to so many younger girls coming up through the game. How does that make you feel?
I didn't realize about that, or I wasn't ready to take that responsibility a few years ago. But now I do, and I'm so proud and I'm so happy, because when I was growing up, I didn't have them role models. So I don't want them girls not having them. I think it's, as I said, our responsibility to be there for them, to be like their mirror, where they can see themselves and they can dream. Yeah.
Because we always say, don't we, there's this saying like you can't be what you can't see. Yeah. It's so different now. And someone like you signing autographs after the game, how does that feel?
I feel the same as Vicky. I didn't really understand the gravity of what it takes to be a role model. When throughout the game I've been in my early career, I was so young and didn't understand. I guess it's really surreal when a young fan runs up to you and is like, Nikita, can I have your autograph? Or Nikita, you're my favourite player. Because for me, it's just, I'm just playing football. Yeah. And you never really understand the impact you can have on someone else's life or someone else's adolescent stages, because ultimately you are what they see on TV, and you are visible, and your actions on and off the field are important. And I think that really grows in maturity and as time goes on, for sure.
Yeah, and do you feel any pressure with that as well?
I think I did at one point, for sure, because if you know me as a personality, I'm very jokey, very banterous.
No, I hadn't noticed that at all.
So sometimes my banter can go from level 1 to level 10. So
we've only seen about 6 today.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure, I definitely had to understand like the moments and the timings where you have to input your personality and who you are, and remember that there is a young player out there that does want to be like you, be exactly like you, and will mirror your actions.
Yeah. You helped England reach the semi-finals in 2017. How much do you think the home crowd will help this time around? And also, you scored the winner against Portugal in that one, securing qualification to the quarters. Do you think you can top that feeling this time around in front of a home crowd as well?
Yeah, of course. In front of a home crowd, home nation, the atmosphere, as Laura's just said. You can't really beat that, especially when you're playing an international tournament abroad, and you do have fans, but the masses of numbers that are going to come out and support is going to be amazing, and hopefully we can go one step further. In the last few major tournaments we've got to semi-finals, and we're hoping to go one step further, but so is Spain and so is Austria. So we've just got to take each moment as it comes, each training session, each match, and as the pressure builds, we've just got to stay calm and collected.
Well, it's it's great because you're all here and you've been very friendly, but the next time that you see each other might be Euro 2022. How much are you looking forward to that? And what's it like seeing your club teammates in big tournaments, Vicky?
It's amazing, and in Man City we're all international players, and I think it's going to be so special for Spain. I think our football has improved a lot, and as Nikita was saying, I think it'd be amazing if we can take us a step further. But I think actually the level of all the countries is similar, and I think that's going to make this tournament very interesting, so I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
Yeah, Laura, is it difficult when you see your friends and your club teammates, but actually they're your opponents when it comes to the tournament?
Yes, they will be.
A little sly look over there to Nikita.
I mean, we played the first game against England. But I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I really love my teammates, and so I really...
Which teammates, club or international?
Both, yeah.
Okay.
And so we have fun every day, so it's gonna be a special game for me now against England. But I'm really looking forward to it.
We are so looking forward to the tournament. I can't wait to see you all in action. It's going to be excellent. It's been great to speak to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.